Hare परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोदय श्री श्रीमान अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोदय श्री श्रीमान भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी की जय। गंगा मई की जय। जमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। समवेता भक्तवृंद की जय। Taking on the word of Srila Prabhupada stands in book distribution and Varnashram farm communities ki jai. All glories to the Samul devotees. All glories to the Samul devotees. All glories to the Samul devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-Lila, chapter 1, text number 46.
Sorry, Adi-Lila?
Adi-Lila, chapter 1, text number 46. Okay. Acharyam Mam Vijaniyat Nam Avamanyeta Karichit Nam Marthya Buddhyam Asuyeta Sarva Deva Mayaha Guru Acharyam Mam Vijaniyan Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru Acharyam Mam Vijaniyan Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru Acharyam Mam Vijaniyan Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru. Please repeat. Acharya Mam Vijaniya Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru. Acharya Mam Vijaniya Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru.
Acharya Mam Vijaniya
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Namartya Buddhya Suyeta
Namartya Buddhya Suyeta
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru.
Acharya Mam Vijaniya Navamanyeta Karhichit Samartya Buddhya Suyeta
Samartya Buddhya Suyeta
Sarvadeva Mayo Guruhu
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Mataji?
Acharya Mam Vijaniyan Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru Acharya Mam Vijaniyan Navamanyeta Karhichit Namartya Buddhya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Okay. Acharyam, spiritual master. Mam, myself. Vijaniyat, one should know. Na, avamanyeta, one should never disrespect. Karihichit, at any time. Na, never. Marithya, with the idea of his being an ordinary man. Asuyeta, one should be envious. Sarvadeva, of all demigods. Mayaha, representative. Guru, the spiritual master. One should know that the Acharya is myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an honorary man, for he is a representative of all the demigods. So we will go to the third paragraph. It's a long purport. So go to the third paragraph, starting with only out of. Only out of his immense compassion does a personality of Godhead reveal himself as a spiritual master. Therefore, in the dealings of an Acharya, there are no activities but those of transcendental loving service to the Lord. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. It is worthwhile to take shelter of such a steady devotee who is called Ashraya Vigraha, or the manifestation or form of the Lord of whom one must take shelter. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kada Mahim Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tathadakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sachikam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parishana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagandaita Shri Vishakanatamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurandi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhye Vachapaditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Prasharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshtarani Vadishaya Srivadane Lakshmi Yasuchi Vakshasi Yasyasi Hidaya Samritam Nrsimha Mahampaje Prahlada Hidaya Hlada Bhakta Vidya Vidaranam Shradindru Shimante Arandra Vadanam Harim Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Giram Yakta Maham Bande Shri Guru Minataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Yashadevi Para Bhakti Yata Devi Tata Guru Tasyate Katita Yata Prakasham Te Mahatmanaha Harijana Karabadi Jnana Karmanda Hari Prakatita Para Bhakti Bhakti Siddhanta Kanti Hindanayana Kara Lakshmi Nimna Maidera Gamyo Vijayati Vikaso Bhakti Guru Bhagavitindra. So today is the disappearance here of Sri Vajayadev Goswami, but also Chandana Prabhu was actually asked to speak on the previous two acharyas also. Yesterday there was the disappearance of Srila Ramachandra Kaviraj and the appearance of Sri Gopala Bhakti Goswami. So, we have to speak about these three acharyas, and the reason I like this purport is to understand that it's not just, we hear about the acharyas, it's not just some nice stories to hear about and think, oh, it's so nice, it's so wonderful. but a person is an acharya is because they have preached, they have behaved in a particular way, and their example and their teachings should be emulated and followed in order for one to attain perfection. That if you just read about the Srimad Bhagavatam, and you go, wow, these are very nice stories, sounds really good, but then if you didn't see the principles of the Bhagavatam being practiced, then we wouldn't really have faith, like, okay, it sounds good. And we can see so many times, my Guru Maharaj himself, he said that when he read the Krishna book, he wanted to come and see the temple and see, okay, are people actually like that? Are people actually following what's being said in this book? When he came, he was very happy to find that it was all very young devotees. There was no hot water. They all took a cold shower. There was no heating. But they're up every single morning chanting and dancing ecstatically for the pleasure of God. So he found that very inspiring. So, like this, we can see that the great acharyas, they appear in this material world in order to teach us how to practice devotional service, in order to teach us how we can become pure devotees of Krishna, in order to teach us, everything that needs to get done. That's why we see that, okay, for example, this is a common example. The nectar devotion says one should not turn their back to the deities while they're in the temple room. Okay, makes sense. But then, so how are you supposed to leave the temple room? How are you supposed to leave the temple room? If the acharyas didn't teach us what to do, if we didn't see by example what to do, how would we know what to do? How would we know what to do? Then we see, okay, the acharyas are walking with them, they're walking backwards. Or they're going to the corner of the temple room and walking that way, they don't show their back to the deities. So, it's a simple question, but to see how these things are being practiced is very important. That's why, who is an acharya? Let's just say, okay, who is an amacharya? Why does Sanatana Goswami say he's an amacharya? He says, Apane ashara karene ki hana kare prachar karene ki hana kare achar. Achar prachar karene tumi tumi karya, tumi sarvaguru, tumi jagatera arya. He says that, my dear Haridas Thakur, there's some people who know how to preach very well, but they don't know how to behave very well. And some people know how to behave very well, but they don't know how to preach very well. But you, Haridas Thakur, you do both these things perfectly in regards to the holy name. Therefore, you are the spiritual master of the entire world. So that is why an acharya is an acharya, because they are there, because they practice what they preach. And they preach what they heard from the spiritual master. So this is the power of repeating the orders of the words of the spiritual master. Especially when one repeats the words of the spiritual master, they themselves get purified. But then, when they repeat the words of the spiritual master, others are inspired by their words, and they look to the people who are speaking these things to see if they're practicing what they preach. And this is a very, very great test. It's a very great test. That we can see and understand this point. It's a very important point to know, an important point to understand, that a person is supposed to practice what they preach. Otherwise, there will be a discrepancy. There will be a discrepancy. A person may preach very well, but then what ends up happening is, if they're preaching very well, yes, you should be humble. Humility is very principle. You should be humble. You should be humble. You should be humble. But they don't care about being humble. Then they create a whole parampara of karta hamiti manyate, a sampradaya of karta hamiti manyate. People thinking they are the doers. So, a person must practice what they preach, and of course, who's a great example of this? Lord Chaitanya himself, he was a great example of this. Then we see Srila Prabhupada, he himself, great example of this. And all these acharyas whose appearance and disappearance we are going to try to speak about today, they're all examples of these things. They're all examples of these principles. Very amazing. And we see in the lives, Lord Chaitanya, that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the book that he sent to McGill University, what was it called? In 1896? Lord Chaitanya, his lives and precepts, right? Life and precepts. So this is very important. We have to understand the life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya. It's very amazing. Why? Because they teach us. A person is an acharya because they teach us how to actually practice devotional service, how to perform devotional service. So this is a very important aspect of Krishna consciousness, to see how the sadhus are behaving. That's why Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Dharma Sapana Hetu Sadhura Vivahara. And he quotes this verse right after Tharko Pratishta Shteo Viphinnam Nasa Vishiryasya Matham Nabhinnam Dharma Siddhato Nihitam Kuhaya Mahajano Yena Gatasapanta. He says that there's so many people, they have so many opinions. Oh, very amazing. You're such a guy, okay, you have this opinion. Tharko Pratishta Shteo Viphinnam. But you won't even be considered a muni if you don't have your own opinion. If you don't have your own opinion, you're not even a muni, you're not even a great person, you're not even a great Rishi. Tarko Pratishta Shutayor Vipinna. You won't be a Muni if you don't have your own opinion. But Tarko Pratishta Shutayor Vipinna. Nasa Vishirya Matham Nabina. But then what about the truths about Dharma? Where are they hidden? They're hidden within the hearts of the great personalities. And then what's the person supposed to do? Mahajano Yena Gata Sapanta. They're supposed to follow in the footsteps of the great Acharyas. And the great Acharyas, they come, they teach us this path. They teach us this path using which a person can fully surrender to Krishna. And how is a person supposed to surrender to Krishna? This the Acharya teaches us. And then I was reading recently in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 8th canto. Everyone knows about Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo Vasha. There's a very famous verse about Ambarish Maharaj. What's the translation that we remember? Savai Mana Krishna Padara. Right. So we think that we should we think about Krishna and all such things. But Prabhupada writes a very amazing thing, and the way he translates this verse in this purport is that surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can only happen when one surrenders their mind to Krishna. We can only fully surrender to Krishna. All levels of surrender of Krishna can be fully manifested when one surrenders their mind to the lotus feet of Krishna. It's very amazing. Very amazing. So we see how our Acharyas, they surrendered their mind to Krishna, and because they're surrendering their mind to Krishna, everything automatically follows. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. They're always trying to surrender their mind into the lotus feet of Krishna. And why is it stressed so much? We can see in the lives of all these Acharyas, we see one common theme in all of them is that they're constantly glorifying the lotus feet of Krishna. Why is this? Why is this being glorified? Why? Because firstly, there's so many reasons are there to glorify the lotus feet of Krishna. But one thing, especially for conditioned souls like myself, is to hear and understand the importance of doing this. And there's a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Avismritish Krishna Padhara Vindayo Shinote Padhani Shasham Tanoti Sattvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim Jnana Chavigyana Viraga Yuktam. It's a very famous, anyway, for those who like to study the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a very amazing verse. Avismritish Krishna Padhara Vindayo. That a person must always focus upon the lotus feet of Krishna. And what is the result of focusing on the lotus feet of Krishna? All inauspicious things that destroy Shasham Tanoti. All abhadra, all inauspicious things are destroyed. And Sattvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim. What does the word Sattva mean? Right? What else does it mean? No. Mukundatta Prabhu, this was like a trick question. He got us with this when he was here. And he said, you will never guess it. And he was like, Sattva also means existence. If you're reading Bhagavad Gita chapter 16, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir. Sattva in that regard is existence. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir. So Sattva Samshuddhir. So our whole existence becomes purified. So Sattvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim. Our whole existence is purified. Sattvasya Shuddhim. Our whole existence is purified. Paramatma Bhaktim, and then we have a devotion established under the lotus feet of Krishna. And then what happens? Jnanam cha vigyana viraga yuktam. We get knowledge, realization, and firm attachment unto Krishna. So all these acharyas whose disappearance day and appearance day we're celebrating today, we can understand and see that the reason one of the reasons why they're constantly meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna is to show us this, that no matter what walk of life we are coming from, we can see and understand that by meditation upon the lotus feet of Krishna, all our impurities can be completely destroyed. By hearing about the pastimes of the great acharyas, Nasta Praesha Bhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhakti Bhakti Naishiki. All inauspicious things are destroyed almost gradually to nil, simply by regular attendance in the class of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the Bhagavatam? What is the Bhagavatam? Right, Bhagavatam, right? That's true, right and true. But if you read the Bhagavatam, what really is going on there? It's the life of the devotees, isn't it? It's the life of the devotees, it's the life of the sages of Naimisharanya, it's the life of Suta Goswami, it's the life of Vyasadeva, it's the life of Narada Muni, it's the life of, then there's the 7th chapter, Ashwatthama, the Pandavas of Ashwatthama, 8th chapter, the life of Queen Kunti, 9th chapter, Bhishmadev, like this, so on and so forth. It's simply the life of the devotees. It's simply the life of the devotees. When we're discussing the Bhagavatam, we're actually discussing the life of the devotees. And when devotees come together, what do? They talk about Krishna. Krishna says, Machita, Matkita, Prana, Bodhayantas Parasparam, Katayantas Shamam Nityam, Tushyanti Sharamanticha. They're always coming together and they're glorifying Krishna. They're glorifying Krishna. And the Bhagavatam also says, Vayamtuna Viptriptyama, right? That's a tongue twister. Viptriptyama, Uttama Shloka Vikrame, Yakshanvatam Rasagnanam, Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. Then, Vayamtuna Viptriptyama, Vitriptyama. These are two words, three words, I guess how you do. Vitripti and and coming, it increases the glorification. Vitriptyama. That when what happens is when devotees come together, they glorify the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they speak about Uttama Shloka Vikrame. Uttama Shloka. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Uttama Shloka. Why? Because all the topmost glorifications are meant for the glorification of Krishna. Uttama Shloka Vikrame. Uttama Shloka Vikrame. They speak about the amazing, unprecedented qualities and attributes of the Supreme Personality of God. Uttama Shloka Vikrame. Yetshanvatam Rasagnanam. And do they speak about it and it gets boring? Okay, now we're bored. Okay, online, that's stuff. No. Yetshanvatam Rasagnanam. You can taste, you can hear the Rasagnana. When we're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's full of Rasagnana. Whatever, full of Rasagnana. It's full of knowledge about the mellow of serving Krishna. It's about the full of the mellow of knowledge of serving Krishna. That's Yetshanvatam Rasagnana, Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. And the more you chant it, the sweeter and tastier it becomes. And we can see in the lives of these acharyas, we can see that. We can see in the life of the acharyas that they're always discussing the pastimes of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. And why is this the case? This is one of my favorite verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I guess my Guru Maharaj force-fed into me. He quoted it so many times, and when I was in person also. I quoted a part of that verse, and he became so blissful, and he asked me to quote the whole verse because it gives him great pleasure. It's Chaitanya Lila Amritapur, Krishna Lila Sukarpur, Duhe Mile Hoisu Madhurja, Sadhu Guru Prasade, Tahaye Asvade, Sejane Madhurya Prachurya. That Chaitanya Lila Amritapur, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, they are just like nectar. And Krishna Lila Sukarpur, the pastimes of Krishna are just like camphor. When you apparently, this is what the Chaitanya Charitamrita says, so it must be true for all the cooks, right? That when you keep camphor in the sweet rice, the flavor explodes in your mouth. So, right, that's true. Vamsija Prabhu is saying, yes, so I take it as Pratyaksha Praman and also Shabda Praman coming from Chaitanya Charitamrita. That the flavor explodes in your mouth. So, Chaitanya Lila Amritapur, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are full of nectarian, it's like sweet rice. And Krishna Lila Sukarpur, Krishna's pastimes are like camphor. Duhe Mile Hai Sumadhurja, and both of them makes it very tasteful. But Sadhu Guru Prasade, and what makes it even more tasty? Nigama Kalpataro Galitam Phalam, Shukamukad Amrita Drava Samyutam. Srimad Bhagavatam is already tasty, but Shukamukad Amrita Drava Samyutam. But by the tasting of Shukadev Goswami, the Bhagavatam became even sweeter. So, Sadhu Guru Prasade, when we hear the remnants of the realizations of the sadhus and the gurus, Tahaye Asvade, the taste is so sweet. Say that Jane Madhurya Prachurya. Then the sweetness we cannot conceive of how sweet all of this is. That's why the Srimad Bhagavatam is so sweet. The pastimes of Krishna are so sweet. Everything that the Bhagavatam says is so sweet. And that's why we can see in the lives of these acharyas another common theme, and this is, okay, who is a sadhu? Who is a sadhu? Sadhu is someone who's got a nice beard, smiles very nicely, twirls the whole thing, and my goal is to put a smile on people's face. Such people, we take spiked boots and kick them in the face with it. This is what we should do. Prabhupada said, should kick them in the face with boots, and my Guru Maharaj said, next generation, so we should increase our attack. So we kick their face with spiked boots, put some spikes on those boots. So this is what we do. Right? That's why the sadhu, who is he defined as? This is a very amazing verse. It's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 26, text number 26. Tato dussangam utsrijya satsu sajjeta buddhiman santa eva sichindanti mano vyasangam ukti bihi. That tato dussangam utsrijya. That intelligent person. Who is an intelligent person? Well, he builds spaceships and flying cars and I don't know what else, artificial, whatever, robots or that. No, an intelligent person is a person who gives a bad association. Tato dussangam utsrijya. Satsu sajjeta buddhiman. And not only does he give a bad association, satsu, he goes up to a sadhu. And what is the symptom of such a sadhu? Santa. That's why we heard our Guru Maharaj was sitting right here on this Vyasasan, and he spoke about the word Santa. Santa means devotee. Santa eva syachindanti. That a spiritual master, Santa, he speaks about. A Santa, what does he do? He speaks, and what does what do his words do? They cut the excessive attachments of the mind. Mano vyasangam uktibihi. Mano, manaha is mind. Vya is excessive. Asangam is, bad association. Uktibihi. Our mind is bad association for us. So we can pray to Krishna. We can pray. Lord Ramachandra gives an assurance. He says, Sakrideva prapannoya savasmiti chayasyate. Abhayam sarvada tasmai dadam yetat vratam mama. He says, even if a person once, offers obeisances unto me and says, my dear Lord Rama, from this day on I am yours. I assure him and give him full protection. This is my eternal vow. This is my eternal vow, Lord Ramachandra says. It's my eternal vow. So, we can offer our obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead every day. It's good. It's good to offer obeisance every day. After all, Krishna says, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishachi satyam te pratijane priyosime. That one must always think of Krishna, offer his obeisances to Krishna. So we can offer, every time we offer obeisances, we can say, my Lord, from this day on, I am yours. I am yours. And please protect me from myself. Protect me from who's our worst enemy? We ourselves are our worst enemy. One guy completely hates me and beats me up and tortures me. Who is that? My mind. My mind is always torturing me. Sometimes when we're jobless, we see some people just walking around lifelessly, not knowing what to do, looking at their phone, trying to talk to whoever they can talk to because they're not engaging their mind in Krishna service. But we can see these great acharyas, they always engage in Krishna service. They always engage in Krishna service. So this is very important. These great acharyas, very, very important. We can see Ramachandra Kaviraj, a very, very amazing devotee of Krishna. And one person who is very important, all these acharyas are very important in our life. But one person whose song we sing every day craves for the association of Ramachandra Kaviraj. Who is that person? Whose song, he composed a song, we sing it every day. Huh? No? We only left with who else is left? Like Vyasadev. Yeah, yes, Narottam Das Thakur. Which bhajan of his do we sing every morning? Guru Vandana. We sing Guru Vandana. He sings, Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. So his best friend, his really good associate is Ramachandra Kaviraj. Ramachandra Kaviraj was a disciple of Srinivasa Acharya. And he was a very, very dear disciple of Srinivasa Acharya, very intimately related to him. And out of the 8 Kavirajas, Narottam Das Thakur says that Ramachandra was one of the great Kavirajas, which means he composed very beautiful, amazing poetry in glorification of Krishna. Very beautiful, amazing poetry. And he formed such a great relationship with Narottam Das Thakur. We can see and understand how great of a personality Ramachandra Kaviraj is, that he is the disciple of Narottam Das Thakur's god brother. That Srinivasa Acharya, who are all the god brothers of Narottam Das Thakur? Shiksha god brothers of Narottam Das Thakur who got tutelage from Jiva Goswami. Who are they? I just said one. Srinivasa Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and the first 3 book distributors in our Sampradaya. Shyamananda Pandit. 3 of them. They are like the first traveling Sankirtan party of the Gaudiya Sampradaya who got books not printed but scribed, I suppose, who got the books scribed and they try to distribute these books. So, Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivasa Acharya, they're like god brothers. They're equals in so many ways. But Narottam Das Thakur is always craving for the association of a disciple of one of his very dear god brothers. So we can simply understand how great of a personality Ramachandra Kaviraj is, that, he's Narottam Das Thakur is craving for his association. He says, Daya karo Shri Acharya, Prabhu Srinivas, Ramachandra Sangha Mange, Narottama Das. He's singing, he's praying for the association of Ramachandra Kaviraj, because he's such a pure devotee of Krishna. There's one story about Ramachandra Kaviraj, which is false, where people say that, oh, he got married and there's the marriage was so pompous and it's so amazing and this and that. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur outright rejects it. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Ramachandra Kaviraj was always a renunciate. And we can see actually in Varnashram, in a system where Varnashram Dharma is kind of followed or somewhat followed or whatever, for a person to just remain a brahmachari their whole life, it's different. It's different than the way it is now, where who cares, the society is falling apart anyway, right? But it's not like that, especially for someone as cultured as Ramachandra Kaviraj. There's a beautiful verse glorifying him. Swarthanya stira bhumau sarajani nagare gauda bhupadi patrat brahmanyad vishnu bhaktat api suparichitat Shri Chiranjeeva Senat ya Shri Ramendu nama samajani pramaha Shri Sunandabhidhayam Soyam Shriman Narakhe Sakhi Kavi Nripatihi Samyak Asit Abhinnaha. Ramachandra, a king amongst poets, was born in the town of Sarajani on the banks of the Ganges as a son of Sunanda and Chiranjeeva Sen. As a well-known minister of the king of Gauda, a devotee of the Brahmins and Vishnu, Ramachandra was not in any way different from Narottam Das Thakur. This is quoted in Bhakti Ratnakar. This is huge. I mean, what bigger compliment can be there to compare someone, especially in Gaudiya culture? That's why there's this bhajan written by a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. His name is slipping my mind, but he wrote, Jai Re Jai Re Jai Paramahamsa Mahashaya Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. It's a very amazing verse, my guru, very amazing poem composed. And in that, he's comparing Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to Narottam Das Thakur. And my Guru Maharaj says, what greater compliment can a person in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya receive than to be compared to Narottam Das Thakur? There is no greater compliment, actually. There is no, like we can see in mundane Tamil culture, if you tell them, you are just like Rajnikant, they think, they go into ecstasy. Rajnikant, anyway, he's just like some famous movie star who's been eulogized, and anyway, those who know, those who don't, IYK, if you know, you know, right? I learned that from a billboard I saw on. If you know, you know. But yeah, such amazing. And then we can also see that, sometimes when distributing books, we see the only, we have, I guess, 2 lines for white guys, like, wow, my man, you look like the guy from Top Gun, right? He looks like the guy. They think, oh, wow, and I never got that before. Thank you so much. Or then, like, if you see an older guy, wow, you look like a young Hulk Hogan. They're like, oh, okay, wow, amazing. Because they feel, but that's just some mundane sentiment. But the topmost compliment a person can offer to someone in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is to compare them with Narottam Das Thakur. There's no greater compliment than that. There's no greater compliment than that. And we say Srinivasa Acharya was so overcome with affection for Ramachandra that he gave him the Diksha mantra and engaged him as his personal servant. He was Srinivasa Acharya's personal servant. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Srinivasa Acharya wrote a bhajan which we really like to sing almost all the time. What's that bhajan? That's right. Krishna Kirtana Gana. If you anyway, you have to sing that bhajan every day. It's very amazing. So he was his Srinivasa Acharya's personal servant. Through Bir Hambir, though Bir Hambir became Srinivasa Acharya's disciple, Ramachandra acted as his guru. Ramachandra also visited Vrindavan, where he associated with Jiva Goswami and the Vaishnavas, receiving their blessings. They were very pleased to hear his poetry so much that Jiva Goswami gave him the Kaviraj title. He received the title from none other than Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal, actually. For Jiva Goswami, Prabhupada said there's never been or there will ever be a scholar who will be as learned and as intelligent as Jiva Goswami. So for Jiva Goswami Prabhupada to say, oh wow, you're Kaviraj, that's really amazing. It's inconceivable, actually. We can't understand. You cannot conceive. And then, okay, so much so that Jiva Goswami gave him the title Kaviraj. He thus became one of the 8 Kavirajas, Ashta Kaviraj. He was Narottam Das Thakur's favorite companion for preaching activities and spiritual association. So not only, why was Narottam Das Thakur so attached to him? Because he was his preaching companion. Right? When you go on traveling Sankirtan and you spend a lot of time with one devotee, you naturally become very attached to them, especially if it works out well. I have the good fortune of traveling with Giri Prabhu so much. I've already obviously gotten so attached to Giri. It's really amazing to have him as like a preaching companion. It's very amazing. And Charandeep and Abhayatma, we were together for so long. And especially when you're together performing austerities for preaching, the rasa is different. It's completely different. It's inconceivable, actually. It's very amazing. Devotees get so close on an absolutely transcendental platform. That's why we can say, I have a special attachment for Kalki Prabhu because he's the one who force-fed this nectar of traveling Sankirtan to me. He taught. So, it's nice. So we can see that Narottam Das Thakur, a favorite companion for preaching activities and spiritual association. Paramananda Bhattacharya, an ocean of love, Jiva Goswami, and the other residents of Raja listened to Ramachandra recite his own poetic compositions, and they joyfully awarded him Kaviraj. This is from Bhakti Ratnakar. Ramachandra Kaviraj was full of virtues and Narottam Das's second self. To be non-different from Narottam Das Thakur, that's amazing. To be non-different. Let's just say someone is glorified by a bona fide devotee, like he's Srila Prabhupada's second self. How can we comprehend? It says, wow, he's like Srila Prabhupada's second self. How can we understand? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's second self. Such a high post. So we see that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-Lila chapter 11, text number 51, Kamaseri saying, Rama saying, Ramachandra Kaviraj, and the 3 Kavirajas, Govinda, Sri Ranga, and Mukunda are Nityananda's branches. Ramachandra Kaviraj was closely associated with Nityananda Prabhu's branches also. So if we cannot understand how amazing all this is, what a great soul he is. Ramachandra, and one of the things an Acharya does is what does he do? One of the things. He writes books. So, Ramachandra wrote several books, including Smarana Chamatkar, Smarana Darpana, Siddhanta Chandrika, and Srinivas Acharyera Jivana Charita. That's very amazing. He wrote, it's like Srinivas Acharya Leela Amrita. It's very amazing, yeah. He said, that's what I was saying. The life of Srila Srinivas Acharya. So, these devotees are very inspiring. Okay, so this is, I'll read some sections of this. Ranahari Chakravarti has written an extensive description of Ramachandra and his visit to Vrindavan in the 9th wave of Bhakti Ratnakar. All the residents of Raja who saw him were attracted by his physical beauty. When Ramachandra visited the Radha Damodar temple with Jiva Goswami and saw Rupa Goswami Samadhi, he experienced ecstatic transformations that were a source of amazement. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Lokanath Swami, and Bhugarbha Goswami gave him their blessings. He went to bathe in Radhakund and Shyamakund and met Raghunath Das Goswami there. When he paid obeisances to Raghunath, the venerable saint affectionately embraced him. Ramachandra's friendship with Narottam Das Thakur has been immortalized by Narottam Das's prayer to Srinivas Acharya for his association. We just quoted this verse. And then there's another verse in the Bhakti Ratnakar. It says, I pay my obeisances to Narottam and Ramachandra, who are devoted to all those who have dedicated their lives to the Supreme Lord, who help people cross over the ocean of material life, who know all scriptures completely and have understood all transcendental doctrines, who most generously distributed. You see, they distributed Bhakti Rasa and won the hearts of the atheists, who are deeply attached to each other's affectionate company. So, Ramachandra Kaviraj passed away in Vrindavan. He disappeared from this world in Vrindavan right after the disappearance of Srinivas Acharya. So this is another great symptom that these great Acharyas, while they're living, they're spreading the holy name around. They're spreading the Bhakti Rasa around. This nectar of devotional service is so amazing that these acharyas become completely attached to spreading this, and they say, oh, there is no higher thing than this. There's no higher thing than this. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wants, especially for traveling preachers, he gives a warning. And this is a very stern warning. It's very heavy. But of course, it's for our ultimate benefit. I'll quote it while I'm looking for the next one. He says that the greatest temptation for a preacher. What is the greatest temptation for a preacher? What do you think? Any guesses? Huh? Sure? Anything else? Fame, followers. Yeah, okay, but all of that comes with being what? Sure? Anything else? Right? Okay. So, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the greatest temptation for a preacher is to try to usurp the position of an acharya. And by having such a desire, it pulls him down from his platform of zenith purity. It's a very, very heavy thing to say, heavy thing. That for a preacher to be tempted to take the post of an acharya completely contaminates him. Completely contaminates him. Because when a preacher, what's he doing? He's experiencing the highest bliss. They're on the platform of zenith purity. Going and, spreading Lord Chaitanya's message and teachings to everyone and anything that moves. Jare Dekho Kartare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. Reading these books. Performing such amazing activities. Distributing these books. Living by the books. It's very, very amazing. Then all of a sudden they think, oh, I'm performing so much service. Everyone should look at me as an acharya. Everyone should look at me as an acharya. And then they get pulled down from that platform of zenith purity. And we can say one person who, although qualified in every way, refuses to take such a post, Parameshwar Prabhu, we can say, completely absorbed in simply distributing Prabhupada's books, completely absorbed in reading Prabhupada's books, knowing everything in Srila Prabhupada, living a completely renounced life. He's so renounced that he's renounced sannyas itself. He's just a, so many devotees offered, you please take sannyas, Prabhu, you take sannyas. No, I'm good. Why? Why simply? Brahmachari life is so amazing. Why simply? Distributing books, preaching, living so amazing. Eating so renounced. So when I first knew Parameshwar Prabhu, actually, he was more intense, right? He would only eat carrots and this and that and eat very little perform. Really completely crazy, actually. He did Ekadashi fasting every day. And anyway, he was completely far out, Anyway. So, such an amazing person. They renounced this thing. And in Vijay Prabhu, he was offered, Prabhu, you please take sannyas, he said. And then now he was reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it says that, a person will come to a position of sannyas, will take sannyas and they get prestige and all this. He said, no, I'm good. Continue to live a simple life. So this is a very amazing taste for renunciation, actually. Very amazing taste for renunciation. And a person must aspire for such a taste. And then we can say, why? And another person like this, who's so completely renounced that they do not want even a tinge of being recognized by anyone, is Gopala Bhatta Goswami. He is literally, he's one of the 6 Goswamis. He's the son of Venkata Bhatta. He is born in a Pakka Brahmin family, real Brahmin family. His entire lines are descendants of the Archakas of Sri Ranganatha Swami in Sri Rangam. He's the nephew of Prabodhananda Saraswati. It's such an amazing exalted birth. He's the one who actually compiled everything for the Hari Bhakti Vilas. And when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came to ask him, what is this? That's from the book? Okay, I guess I'll read it. But when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came to ask Gopal Bhatta Goswami for his blessings to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said, I will give you my blessings on one condition. And you can't say no to this. What was that condition? That you will not mention my name. We can't understand what a crucial role Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami played in establishing the glories of Lord Chaitanya. What a crucial role that he played. And he is so humble that he doesn't want anyone to even know about him. Acharya. That's a preacher. He refuses. He refuses. I mean, of course, it's not like, oh, then I guess Rupa Goswami on them. No, they performed it as a service to Lord Chaitanya. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami also performed this as a service to Lord Chaitanya. We can see and understand this. It's very amazing. It's inconceivable, actually. How someone can be so qualified and so humble at the same time. It's inconceivable. Qualified in every way. He's a Nitya Parishad. He's an eternal associate of of Krishna in the spiritual world. Eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. But still, he performs this amazing. How is he so renounced? We cannot understand. We can see over here. Okay. Ananga Manjari Asit Sadhya Gopala Bhatta Kaha Bhatta Goswami Nam Kechit Ahu Shri Guna Manjari. That's very amazing. What's that? Oh, Krishna. How am I forgetting this one? Raghurupa Sanatana Kirtidaram Dharani Tala Kirtita Jiva Kavim Kavi Rajanarotama Sakya Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam. Anyway, I'll let's see if time permits. I'll speak about this verse I just sung. Couldn't help myself. Sorry. She who was formerly Ananga Manjari has appeared to enrich Mahaprabhu's pastimes as Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Some say that Gopala Bhatta is actually Guna Manjari. Controversy. These are the controversies we should be having. Not about whether females and not about, anyway, I don't want to get into, I guess I already said it too late, sorry. Anyway, so, yeah, should not be having those controversies. So, we see over here, Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami appeared in AD 1500. Though, according to some authorities, he was born in 1503. Another good controversy to have. As a son of Venkata Bhatta in the town of Srirangam in South India. The residence was in a village not far from Srirangam called Belgundi. You've been to this place? You've been to Gopal Bhatta Goswami's house? I remember, you've been there, huh? Gopal Bhatta Goswami's house. So, I mean, you went? Yeah. They had to take it down, right? I don't think you went. By the time you went, it was gone. Okay. But in Gopal Bhatta Goswami's home, I visited there actually before they broke it down. This happens to be maybe 11 years ago. I went there. In Gopal Bhatta Goswami's home, there's very beautiful deities of Jagannath. Huh? And these beautiful deities of Jagannath, guess who made them? Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya made these beautiful deities of Jagannath. And these deities of Jagannath, so when you see, okay, how does Lord Jagannath look? All the deities of Lord Jagannath, how does he look? Like this. He has a black face, big eyes. Right? But the deity, the Lord Chaitanya, the deity that Lord Chaitanya made are so beautiful and unlike any other Jagannath deities you'll ever see. I don't know if you can pull up the picture. But they're so amazing and they're so captivating. Look, those are the deities. Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. Amazing. Huh? So these are the deities in Gopal Bhatta Goswami's home. Right? I mean, someday, anyway, getting darshan of these deities is so beautiful, so amazing. Huh? He's just behind the temple. So it's so beautiful, so amazing. The deities are and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he got the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at a very, very young age. I don't know, I have to skip some parts, unfortunately, because we have to speak of another. Okay. I'll read this. This next two paragraphs are freaking amazing. According to Narahari, in the Bhakti Ratnakar, Mahaprabhu gave Gopal Bhatta a dream vision through which he could witness all of his Navadvip pastimes. Though Gopal was an eternal associate of Krishna, he appeared in a faraway place in order to make a special contribution to Gauranga's pastimes. Thus, even though he was living too far away to know anything about the Lord directly, he was still able to know long before he met the Lord in person that he had appeared and taken sannyas. As a member of his Vrindavan entourage, Gopal Bhatta did not particularly like the Lord's appearance as a sannyasi. This austere form distressed Gopal, who was thus crying alone when the Lord appeared to him and gave him the vision of his form as a householder in Navadvip. Gopal was overwhelmed with astonishment at seeing the Lord's beauty, and he fell down at his feet. When he looked up, the Lord had transformed into his sannyasi form again. Calming Gopal, he gave him some instruction and then foretold that he would go to Vrindavan before long and there make disciples who would spread his teachings all over the world. The Lord then embraced Gopal and drenched him in his tears. He then told Gopal to keep all these revelations a secret, but he didn't. That's how we know. That's how we know. Right? So many things are there in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Like the Brahmin who saw Lord Chaitanya as Krishna as a baby. This is a secret, do not tell anyone. But I guess they end up telling after a certain point of time or something. He then disappeared, leaving Gopal in a state of intense joy. Oh my God, so much nectar. Okay, so I'll just, briefly, So, during the Chaturmas season, Lord Chaitanya went on his tour to South India. Why? Why did he go to South India? Right, to look for his brother, whose name was? Vishwarup. And then his sannyas name was Shankararanya. So he went on pretext for looking for his brother in South India. And then during the Chaturmas season, he stopped in Venkata Bhatta Goswami's house, Venkata Bhatta's house to, and during Chaturmas, sannyasis don't travel. So he stayed there. And then, at this time, Gopal Bhatta was still a young boy. He was fortunate enough to serve the Lord by massaging his feet. Can you imagine, as a young boy, you're massaging the lotus feet of none other than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That's a very, very big deal. Very big deal. Even though he was satisfied with Venkata Bhatta and his family's service, the Lord observed that Venkata had an element of pride in his object of worship. He believed that his worshipable deity, Lakshmi Narayan, was a supreme worshipable object, that Narayan was the source of all other incarnations, including Krishna, Nama, and Narsingha. His reasoning was that Narayan is never born, and anyway, we can... Okay. These are all pastimes about how Lord Chaitanya establishes to Gopal Bhatta Goswami's father that Radha Krishna worship is superior. Okay, all right, I'll just skip all the way to Gopal's Guru section. Okay, anyway. Through the power of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's powerful association, Venkata Bhatta, his father, his brother, Prabodhananda Saraswati, and his son Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and all of the members of his family were inspired to give up the worship of Lakshmi Narayan, that's another controversy, and became engaged in the exclusive devotional service of Radha and Krishna. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami took initiation from his uncle, Tridandi Yati, Sripat Prabodhananda Saraswati. And a famous verse composed by Prabodhananda Saraswati is Dante nidayati nakam padayor nipatya kitva chakakushita eta aham bravimi he sadhava sakala eva vihaya durat gauranga chandra charane kurutanuraga. That this he basically gave us lines to use on book distribution, Prabodhananda Saraswati. And we've modified it and expanded upon that one advice given to us by Prabodhananda Saraswati, and it works. So he was a guru of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Okay, Gopal's parents were very fortunate, for they surrendered themselves, life and soul, to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. They ordered their son to go to Vrindavan before they left this world. Absorbed in meditating on the Lord, Gopal traveled directly to Vrindavan and he met Rupa and Sanatan. When Gopal arrived in Vrindavan, Rupa and Sanatan wrote to Mahaprabhu to tell him. The Lord was overjoyed and immediately wrote back. The Lord wrote back. Usually, Lord Chaitanya never wrote back to people. Only Rupa and Sanatan, I guess that was like a special thing. And immediately wrote back telling them to affectionately take care of him as though he were their own younger brother. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami was the younger brother of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So we feel like, protect like, my elder brother is Vishnu Chatur Prabhu, hell yeah. So, we can say, oh yeah, my elder brother, Gokul Chandra Prabhu, we feel like, okay, same thing. He was a younger brother. Srila Sanatan Goswami compiled the Hari Bhakti Vilas and published it in Jiva Goswami's, in Gopal Bhatta Goswami's name. Whoa. Rupa Goswami considered Gopal to be as dear as his own life and engaged him in deity worship of Radha Raman. Oh, this is really an amazing pastime. Anyway, I'll just speak about Radha Raman. Unfortunately, I can't speak about everything. When Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami was visiting the pilgrimage centers of North India, he found a Shalagram Shila on the banks of the Gandaki river. He took the worshipable stone form and carried it with him wherever he went, attending to it as Rajendra Nandan Krishna himself. One day he thought he would like to worship the Lord in a deity form so that he could expand his service. On the very next day, he found that the Shalagram Shila had transformed into Radha Raman to fulfill the wish of his devotee. This deity stands alone without any form of Radha by her side. Instead, as a symbol of Radha Rani, a silver crown is placed on his left side. This story is also found in the following way. It is said that Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami used to daily worship 12 shalagrams. He developed a desire to serve the Lord in the form of a deity, thinking that in this way he would be able to worship him in a much better way. The Lord within his heart knew his feelings. Though through a rich merchant he was provided with many beautiful items used to worship the deity, such as ornaments and clothes, Gopal began to worry that all these beautiful objects would be wasted because there was no way he could use them until he had a deity in human form. That night he put Shalagram to rest. In the next morning he saw one of them had transformed into Radharaman deity. When Rupa Sanatan heard that Krishna had so mercifully appeared to Gopal Bhatta, they immediately came with the other devotees for darshan. And when they saw him, they were ecstatic with love. The annual festival commemorating Radha Raman's appearance, when he is bathed publicly, takes place on the full moon day of Vishak. Radha Raman temple is considered one of the most important temples in Vrindavan. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami ended his earthly pastimes on Krishna Panchami of Asharaha of 1507 of the Shaka era 1585 AD. Samadhi temple is behind the current Radharaman temple. By reading Srinivas Acharya's hymn to 6 Goswami, Sat Goswami Ashtakam, we can understand their glories. It's very amazing. And we can say one verse especially which Sat Goswami Ashtakam, which reminds me a lot about Gopal Bhatta Goswami's Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sad Dharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. That they scrutinizingly studied the revealed scriptures to establish Siddhanta, Saddharma Samstapako. And why did they do it? Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane. In order to give relief to the conditioned souls. So it's very amazing. Always thinking about the lotus feet of Krishna. Again, what's the effect of meditating upon Lord Krishna's lotus feet? Avismritish Krishna Padara Vinde. Anyway, I'm not expecting you to tell the Sanskrit, but what's the translation? All inauspicious things are destroyed. Shinota Badhani Shasham Tanoti. Sattvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim. Completely purified. Jnanati Vijnana Viraga Yuktam. So then, now, today is the disappearance day of Srila Jayadev Goswami. he is considered, Lord Chaitanya really relished his book, and he's famous for the book which he wrote, Gita Govinda. And here's a trick question. Do we sing anything written by him every day? Tava kara kamala varena kam adbhuta shringam dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringam keshavadrita narahari rupa jaya jagadisha hare. So every day we chant this part of Sri Jayadev Goswami. What's the name? Dasa Avatara Stotra. We chant this every day. And you know what's amazing is that this stotra, written by Jayadev Goswami, glorifying the Dasa Avatars, appears just in the middle of Gita Govinda. It appears just in the it seems like, why is this appearing in this part of Gita Govinda? Because it explained that Srila Jayadev Goswami was explaining to his disciple about the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and then just to establish that this Krishna is actually, all these Dasa Avatars are expanding from Krishna, he sings this Dasha Avatar Stotra. So, we see that there's a very beautiful verse. Describing the glories of Jayadev Goswami. Unfortunately, I haven't memorized it, but I just read it yesterday in Rasika, the story of Rasikananda. And in that book is the first page is on page number 1. I wish I had the book with me. Anyway, sorry, but it's glorified that in all the scriptures, there's only one scripture where Krishna personally came and wrote something. And of all the tilaks in the world, there's only one tilak which was personally kept on someone's forehead by Srimati Radharani. So there's one scripture, a part of one scripture which Krishna wrote was? No. Gita Govinda. And I said, Lord Chaitanya wrote that. Oh, okay, I guess Achintya Beda here. But yeah, Lord Krishna. He wrote this. So there's a very beautiful pastime of Jayadev Goswami where in his meditations he is thinking about the beautiful, most intimate pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna. He's contemplating on the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And while he's contemplating and he's thinking about the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna, he comes to a part of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna where Krishna is offering his obeisances to Srimati Radharani and telling her, now you please give me the dust of your lotus feet. So he thought about this and he thought this is too much. I should not be writing this. This is too much. So anyway, it's time for my afternoon bath. So he went to take his afternoon bath. And then, he just went, and then his wife, her name was Padmavati. She said, he all of a sudden came back and she said, wow, you came back so fast? He said, yeah, I had to write something. So something came to my mind, I had to write it. And he goes and he writes it. He goes on. Again, after some time, Jayadev Goswami comes back. And then, his wife was like, oh, wow, you came back again so fast? He's like, what do you mean I came back so fast? I came back at a regular time, took my afternoon bath. And she said, no, you came, you went back, you came. And then he's like, no, I didn't do that. She said, no, you told me you came back and you wrote something. He said, and then there was that was another controversy worth looking into. No, I didn't. So then they said, then he went, what do you mean? And then he went and he saw, Krishna wrote this line, Dehi pada pallavam udhara. This is the line that Krishna himself wrote personally. He personally wrote, this beautiful line in Gita Govinda, and there he went to his wife. Oh, Krishna wanted this to be revealed. Went to his wife and said, you're so fortunate you saw Krishna. I mean, he's also fortunate. He's seeing Krishna. That's why he's writing all this. No? But, you're so fortunate. You saw Krishna. You're so fortunate. So, he's glorified like this, that Jayadev Goswami. And then the only one person who had a tilak kept by Radharani is Shyamananda. His glory should be sung on another day. We can say, I can send it there. I just said, that there's only one person in the whole world where Krishna came and personally wrote a line in one of the books that they're writing. and one person in the whole world upon whose forehead Radharani kept tilak. So that person is Jayadev Goswami, where Krishna personally came and wrote a section, a line in Gita Govinda. And Shamananda Pandit is a person who's, huh? I just said it. Dehi pada palava, Dehi pada pallavam udhara. My dear Radharani, please give me the dust of your lotus feet. So, we see that, let's see. Srila Prabhupada said Jayadev Goswami wrote Gita Govinda for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. Only for Lord Chaitanya. Unfortunately, now it's read, it's misinterpreted. So many things are happening. Once, like some famous modern scholar came to Srila Prabhupada, in the course of the discussion, said, "Yeah, I'm going to be reading Gita Govinda." But Prabhupada is saying, what nonsense? It's only meant. Jayadev Goswami wrote Gita Govinda only for Lord Chaitanya. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked Bhakti Vinod Thakur, should I print Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govinda? He said, yes, you should print. One copy for yourself, one copy for me. Only that's how esoteric this is. But people, they act like they're qualified to read Gita Govinda. Fools and rascals who are qualified to read Gita Govinda, getting into all this. They can't even control their senses. They're completely unqualified. But they want to read Gita Govinda because they're just so qualified. It's completely bogus. After the Lord gave Jayadev the vision, he told him to go to Jagannath Puri. Although Jayadev was sad to leave the future abode of the Lord, which is Navadvip, he obeyed the Lord's command and made his way to Puri, where it is said that he was engaged as the king of Orissa's poet. He spent the remainder of his life of the abode of Lord Jagannath, where he wrote the transcendental poem, wrote in the sentiment of loving separation, known as Gita Govinda or Ashtapadi. Indeed, Mahaprabhu told Jayadev, while giving him the vision in Navadvip, that after appearing there, he would take sannyas and go to Jagannath Puri, where he would relish Gita Govinda. That's how qualified he is. So, we see that Jayadev Goswami, he performed this amazing work of pleasing Lord Chaitanya. And we see that even Jagannath, he has so much love for Gita Govinda. There's a legend told in Jagannath Puri that there was a flower. Anyway, I'd not read this. But Lord Chaitanya glorifies and appreciates Gita Govinda. Day and night, the Lord would speak as though he were Radha meeting Uddhava. He would also relish the poems of Chandidas and Vidyapati. Okay. Anyway, so we see that Jayadev Goswami, he gave the topmost pleasure for all the devotees to hear about the pastimes of Krishna. Anyway, we should say that the glories of the acharyas, they can never be spoke enough. But we can speak a little bit here and there, and we should spend our time. I'm sorry, we had to speak about all these three acharyas. Each of these acharyas should at least, it would be ideal if we had one class for each of them, but we're trying to squeeze everything in. I'll read a small section of this. He said, after this, Jayadev wished to see Vrindavan. He took the leave of the king and queen, taking his deities Radha and Madhav with him, set off on the journey. Once in Vrindavan, he began to serve his deities in an area near Keshigarh. When the residents of the Dham heard Jayadev sing the Gita Govinda in a sweet voice, they were entranced. One merchant built a large temple for the deities on that site. It is said that Jayadev returned to his birthplace after living in Vrindavan for many years. He spent the rest of his life there worshipping his deities and performing his bhajan. He would make the long walk of the Ganges to take his bath there. One day, for some reason, he was unable to make it. Ganga Devi was so kind to him that she came personally to the village of Kendu Bilva so that he could bathe in her holy waters. It is said that Jayadev disappeared in Kendu Bilva, and every year on the first day of the month of Magh, a large festival is held there. So we see, and there's also a very beautiful verse, and my Guru Maharaj, he says his favorite verse, one of his favorite verses, describing the beauty of Krishna, is, I will pull this up right now. Sorry. So there's this verse in the Gita Govinda. It's the seventh verse of Gita Govinda, where he says, okay, I'm trying to pull it up for the pleasure of everyone, but the deep search is not working right now for me. Okay, I'm unable to. Okay, you know what? I think I found it. All right, okay, here it is.
Is victorious over all wicked demons. O Lord, who defeated the 10-headed Ravana in battle, O Lord and Master.
Okay.
In praise of Krishna's beauty, one of my favorites. Abhinava Jaladhara Sundara He Dhrita Mandara Dhrita Mandara Srimukha Chandra Chakora Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Abhinava Jaladhara Sundara He. O Lord, as handsome, as beautiful as a fresh rain cloud. O lifter, holder of Govardhan Hill. O Chakora bird who drinks the moonlight of Radharani's face. That could have been translated another way, a very insightful, intimate translation. O Lord and Master Hari, all glories unto you, all glories unto you.
So very beautiful verse describing the glories of and the beauty of Krishna. So I'll end the class here. There's no time for any questions or comments now. So Shri Jayadev Goswami ki jai, Srila Ramachandra Kaviraj ki jai, Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami ki jai, taking over the world with Srila Prabhupada Sansan Bhakti Srimad Vaishnav Ram communities ki jai. Oh, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyascha.